Aloha, friends and family, and welcome back to the channel. We want to talk about Joe Biden. We want to talk about the corrupt government. We want to talk about the financial collapse. Of course you don't. And I don't blame you. The Spake Guru Nanak. And this isn't for fame or fortune or friends or anything like that. This is for God. Service to humanity. A short life of Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak, the founder of the great Sikh religion, was born on April 15th, 1469 in a humble cottage in Tilwandi in the district of Lahore, West Pakistan. India was being ruled by the Pathans in those days. The condition of the people, especially in respect to religion, was far from satisfactory. Undue importance was given to rituals, and very few cared for real spiritual life. It was at this juncture the great Guru was born. From his childhood, Nanak was of the religious temperament, and his teachers and schoolmates were astonished to see his sincere devotion and inborn knowledge about spiritual matters. After his schooling was over, he was asked by his father to look after cattle and to take them for grazing. While the cattle grazed, Nanak would be found sitting under a tree, absorbed in deep meditation. He was put to severe tests for negligence of duty, but every time he was miraculously saved by an invisible hand. Once his father gave him rupees 20 to do some good, beneficial, and truthful work with it. Nanak spent the entire amount in feeding some sadhus, monks, and felt immense satisfaction that he had obeyed his father's behest in true spirit. Seeing his non-attachment to the things of the world even at the tender age, people came to the conclusion that he was born to fulfill a definite purpose. A few years later, he started his mission of spreading a new gospel to propagate divine love. He was opposed by the emperor, pandits, and mullahs, but his spirituality, devotion, and honesty of purpose soon silenced everybody. The critics were convinced of the sincerity of his purpose and became followers. Nanak traveled extensively throughout the length and breadth of India and went abroad and visited Mecca, Medina, and Persia, Kabul, etc. Wherever he went, he spread his Catholic and universal message, which was accepted with great regard by the Hindus and the Muslims alike. The main theme of his message was God is one. God is love. God is unity. The same God resides in the temple and in the mosque and outside as well. All human beings are equal in the eyes of God. They are born and they die in the same way. Devotion to God and service to mankind, irrespective of caste, creed, or color, is the duty of everyone. He was regarded as a spiritual teacher, Satguru, at the age of 40, and his disciples came to be known as Sikhs. He taught through verses that came to him direct from heaven through divine inspiration and communion with God. The collection of most of these teachings is called Japji Sahib, and the famous Guru Granth Sahib also embodies them. They are regarded by all Sikhs as sacred. They are literally worshipped with all devotion and sincerity. Guru Nanak was loved and adored by his Hindus and Muslims. He was held in such a high esteem by them that after his demise in 1539, both Muslims and Hindus claimed to dispose of his body according to their respective customs. The body was covered with a piece of cloth, and when the cloth was removed next morning, people gathered there, found to their utter astonishment that there was only a heap of choice flowers. Poet Singa Leal has beautifully described him as pure he was, purity he preached, lovely he was, so love he preached, humble he was, so humility he preached, divine he was, so divinity he preached, apostle of peace and justice he was, incarnation of equality and purity he was. Devotion and bhakti he pleaded, of course, gives the Nanak message to all that God above all is the Lord of all. Sikhism accepted some of the basic doctrines of Hinduism, enlarging and deepening their meanings. Sikh religion is strictly monotheistic, believing in nothing but the one supreme God, absolute and all-pervading, the eternal, the creator, the cause of causes, without enmity, without hatred, both immanent in his creation and transcendent to it. The two basic postulates of Sikhism are that life is not sinful in its origin, but having emanated from a pure source, remains pure in essence, even in its existence. The Sikh religion says that no caste is high or low, no man a condemned sinner or a sanctified being. God is one, but he has innumerable forms. He is the creator of all, and he himself takes the human form. He is without any kind of fear. He has no enemy, and he is beyond death, and he is free from rebirth. There is only one being who is the creator and the uncaused cause of all. He has created the whole universe through his ever-active will, which is diffused throughout. Thou art beyond finiteness. We, being finite, praise thee in finite terms. How can we know how great you are? Whoever knows the mystery expressed by the numeral 1, he becomes one with him. To make his will one's own is the means to achieve him. The Absolute is wordless, imageless, and nameless. When it came into being, it was called Word, or Nam. which is the cause of all creation, which is the great sound of Om. He who gives himself up to his supreme will wins the goal. No other action counts in achieving this end. The divine will is revealed unto man by communion with the holy Nam, the divine word. The creation and the ultimate dissolution of the universe is caused through the word. Again, through the word, it takes its existence anew. Whoever searches for joy eternal, let him seek that in all-pervading spirit. In misery and pleasure, the whole world is stuck fast. All their doings are directed by assertion of egotism. Without the sabd or word, and I would add to that, without the law, the cosmic law, the superstition cannot be ended and the ego cannot be lost. One cannot comprehend him through reason, even if one reasoned for ages. One cannot achieve inner peace by outward silence, not though one sat dumb for ages. One can neither buy contentment with all riches of the world, nor reach him with all mental ingenuity. Question: how may one know the truth and break through the cloud of falsehood? There is a way, O Nanak, to make his will our own, his will which is already wrought in our existence. One must know all things are manifestations of his will, but his will is beyond description. By his will is matter quickened into life. By his will is greatness obtained. By his will some are born high and others low. By his will are men's joys and sorrows ordained. By his will the pious obtain salvation. By his will the impious wander in endless transmigration. All exists under his will and nothing stands outside. One attuned with his will, O Nanak, is wholly freed from ego. Some sing his greatness, but only according to power bestowed upon them. Some sing of his bounties, taking them as his signs. Some sing of him as incomprehensible. Some sing of him as transmitting dust into life, and life unto dust again, creator and destroyer, the giver of life and withdrawer. Some sing of him as at once the nearest and the most remote. There is no end to his description. Countless have tried to describe him, but he still stands beyond description. His recipient may tire, but his bounty is untiring. Ages upon ages, man has fed upon it. His will directs the world, and yet, O Nanak, he dwells beyond concern or care. True is the Lord, true his holy word. His love has been described as infinite. Men pray to him for gift, which he grants untiringly. When all is his, what can we offer at his feet? What can we say to win his love? At the ambrosial hour of the early dawn, Be you in the communion with the divine word and meditate on his glory. Our birth is the fruit of our actions, but salvation comes only from his grace. O Nanak, know the true one as immanent and all. The Lord can never be established nor created. The formless one is limitlessly complete in himself. Those who worship him are honored. Nanak, ever sing of the treasure house of all virtues. Let us sing of him and hold communion with the word, with a heart full of loving devotion, for then shall all sorrows end, and we shall be led joyously homewards. The Master is the song eternal, or word personified. He is the Vedas and scriptures. He is saturated with the divine. He is the Siva, he is the Vishnu, and he is Brahma, and the consorts Parvati, Lakshmi, and Saraswati also. The greatness of the Master, ever if known, cannot be described with oral eloquence. My Master has taught me one thing. He is the Lord of everything. Him I may never forget. If I may please him, 'tis pilgrimage enough. If not, nothing, no right or toil avails. Whichever way I look, I find that in his creation, none has won salvation without his grace, regardless of karmas. You can discover untold spiritual riches within yourself if you but abide by the teachings of your Master. If a man could extend his life to 4 ages or yugas, nay, make in 10 times longer, if he were known throughout the plains of creation and everyone therein followed him in respect. If every creature praised him to the sky, all this and more has no value if God's eye looked not kindly upon him. Without his goodwill, he will be reckoned as the meanest worm amongst worms, and sinners shall charge him with sins. O Nanak, he bestows virtues on those who have none, and adds to the store of the virtuous. But there is naught that can bestow aught upon him. He, the Lord, is the only doer. There is no one other than he. Saith Nanak, I am a sacrifice to him who pervadeth water, earth, and interspace. Millions praise thee, O Lord, but infinite is thy praise. For saith Nanak, thou it is who created the universe of myriad kinds. O my ignorant mind, ever call thou on him, by whose grace all thy works are accomplished. Yea, keep his presence ever before thy mind, by whose grace thou findest the truth. Attune thyself to him, by whose grace thou art cast among the noble kind. Forget not him night or day, nay, never. By whose grace thou keepest thy honor. Nanak, utter his praise by the Guru's grace. All attempts to describe God are in vain, O Nanak. Admit his greatness, he alone knows himself. He devotes praise, yet never attain full knowledge of the infinite. like streams stumbling into the ocean. They know not the depths therein. Even kings and emperors with heaps of wealth and vast dominion compare not with an ant filled with the love of God. Endless are his praises, endless the words of commendation. Endless his works and endless his gifts. Endless his vision and endless his inspiration. Endless and beyond understanding in his purpose. His benevolence is manifold, and none can record it. He is the giver of all, coveting nothing in return. Many are the warriors who are beggars at his door, and many more whose number is beyond reckoning. Many are those who, misusing his gifts, decry him. Many are the fools who only eat and enjoy, but think not of the donor. And many lie, afflicted by hunger, misery, and pain, which, too, are thy gift, O Lord, peerless in his generosity, peerless his acceptance, peerless his mercy, and peerless his commands. His devotees singing his praise have sunk in silence, and so have the Vedas, the Puranas, and the learned. Countless speak of him, and countless are about to make an attempt, and countless more departed while singing of him. Still he remains, and shall remain indescribable. O Lord, to thee sing the gods and goddesses, whose beauty is of thy making. To thee sing the siddhas in their contemplation, and the siddhas in their meditation. All lie beyond the ken of Nanak. He who created all creatures shall never depart. Though worlds be destroyed, he is the supreme master and does what he wishes. He is the King of kings, the almighty Lord. And ours, O Nanak, is only to abide by his will. Hail to thee, thou who dwelleth in nature. There is no end to thy manifestations. The light is there in the manifest world. And the manifest world is in the light. The Creator is filling the created. From the very beginning, God is truth and reality. In the past, he was truth and reality. He still is truth and reality, says Nanak. In future also, he will be truth and reality. By obeying him, O Nanak, man wandereth not in quest of alms. So pure is God's name. Whoever obeyeth God knoweth the pleasure of it in his own heart. Word. By communion with the Word, one can attain the status of a siddha, a man of supernatural powers, a pir, a Muslim divine, a shura, or God, or a nath, an adept in yoga. By communion with the Word, one can understand the mysteries of the earth, the supporting bull, and of the heavens. To him the earthly regions, the heavenly pleasure, and the netherworld stand revealed. By communion with the Word, one can escape unscathed through the portals of death. O Nanak, his devotees live in perpetual ecstasy, for the word washes away all sin and sorrow. By communion with the word, one can attain the powers of Siva, Brahma, and Indra. One can win esteem from all irrespective of one's past. By communion with the word, one can have yogic insight. With the mysteries of life and self all revealed, one can acquire the true import of the Sastras, or scriptures, Smrits, and the Vedas. By communion with the word, one becomes the abode of truth, contentment, and true knowledge, and gets the fruit of ablution at 68 places of pilgrimage. By communion with the word, one becomes the abode of all virtues. One becomes a Sikh, and a true spiritual king. By communion with the word, the spiritually blind find their way to realization and cross beyond the limitless ocean of elusive matter. By practice of the word, one raises unto universal consciousness and develops sight, understanding, clairvoyance, and transvision of the whole creation. By practice of the word, one is freed from sorrow and suffering, and one does not go to Yama, or God of death, after death. Oh, great is the power of the word, but few there be that know it. By practice of the word, one leads one's kith and kin as well to freedom. One saves not only himself, but when he becomes an adept, many others whom he guides. By practice of the word, one freed from desires escapes from the wheel of transmigration, and one finally attains salvation and or liberation. Dharm, or word, is the proverbial bull that is harmoniously sustaining the creation. Whosoever realizes this verily knows the truth. It is nothing but the word that is carrying the crushing load of the entire creation. What a tremendous load! What other power could support it? None but the word. With one word of his, this vast creation blossomed into being, and 1,000 streams of life spring into existence. What power have I to conceive of his wonderful nature? O formless one, too poor am I to make an offering of my life to thee. Whatever pleaseth thee is good, thou art forevermore. Through the word is the mind conquered, and one attains to salvation and the state of bliss in one's home. The word is the guru. The guru is the word. I and my Father are one. I am that I am. For all nectar is enshrined in the Word. Blessed is the Word which reveals the Lord's name, but rare is the one who knoweth the Word by the Guru's grace. Through the medium of the Word, the soul doth cross the endless ocean of matter. Lowly Nanak therefore glorifies his Nam, the Word. The Word is both earth and ether, or matter and spirit. These had their being through the Word. This Word expressed itself in other aspects as well. The whole creation sprang up after the Word. O Nanak, that endless Word is reverberating in each heart. The all-pervading Word has attracted all my mind. What else have I to think of? Communion of the soul with the Word creates everlasting bliss. Through the communion of the soul with the Word, I have gained the resplendent seat of honor. O Nanak, the all-pervading Nam dwelleth in the heart of all. The creation and the ultimate dissolution of the universe is caused through the Word. Again, through the Word, it takes its existence anew. How can the ignorant get to the principle of union of soul with the Word? Without communion with the Word, the soul comes and goes. O Nanak, the Gurmukh, who is himself emancipated, meets by the merciful writ of the Lord. The Word is the Guru, the soul is the disciple of the Word. A melodious song. Whoever by the practice of the Word finds out his true home, Nanak, shall serve him truly. The five sounds become audible through the instruction of the Gurmukh, the personified Word. Great is the luck of him who hears them. The source of joy and peace I find everywhere through the Word. The Lord made his appearance and becomes manifest. O Nanak, through the favor of the Guru we were saved, and the ego was consumed in communion with the Sabd, or Word. In misery and pleasure, the whole world is stuck fast. All their doings are directed by assertion of egotism. Without the Sabd, or Word, the superstition cannot be ended, and the ego cannot be lost. We'll leave it right there for this one, my friends and family, and we leave you in the Word. And the Word is you. And you are in the Word, and the Word is in you. Until next time, we leave you in the love, unity, and light of the infinite Creator.